question is that the motion be agreed to. The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I think it's very rarely that I can stand up and say that I totally agree with the Prime Minister. I do want to put the thanks of the record of the thanks of New Zealand to the Prime Minister for being such a good sport and posing with Sam Whitelock, just to show the perspective of rugby players and politicians in New Zealand. I also want to put on the record thanks to a few people. Thanks to the people who initiated the Rugby World Cup. It was something that was done in the 1980s when rugby wasn't going quite as well as it is now, and it's gone in a relatively short time to being probably the most important individual trophy as far as New Zealanders are concerned. And I think that has been important in rebuilding the image of rugby in New Zealand and around the world. I want to acknowledge the late Jock Hobbs, who took rugby into the professional administration era. He got Chris Moller in, and Steve Chu, and Neil Sorensen, and Don Tricker, and earlier Dame Therese Walsh. People who have set a platform of professional administration off which this team has been able to grow. I want to acknowledge the World Rugby Award winners, Nihi Milner-Skudder, Julian Savia, Portia Woodman and Kendra Coxridge, who didn't get quite the recognition that some of the others did coming out of that ceremony. But a special acknowledgement for Dan Carter for his enormous contribution throughout a wonderful career. I note my colleague from Canterbury is saying hear, hear. He has broken my heart on a number of occasions as a Hurricanes supporter, but his career and especially his vision in the final and his skills in the final were the like of a fly half that I think it'll be a while until we see one so good again. Mr Speaker, we don't know yet officially the future of Richie McCaw as far as rugby is concerned, but if you ever had someone who could lead by example, who could develop a team of leaders around him that really made a difference both on and off the field, then Richie McCaw has done that. I want to have my final comments in acknowledging the work of Steve Shag Hansen. His dry humour is something which New Zealanders are finding very, very special. I'm going to be frank. When Steve first got the job, I had my doubts. But the first time I heard him speak, actually in the Wainuiomata Rugby Club, I had no doubts whatsoever, because what was clear was a ferocious but well-hidden intellect and a wonderful sense of humour and an ability to select for the longer term, which has meant that he has built a team that is really special. It is a golden era, and I, for one, hopes that he will think very, very carefully about the possibility of being the first coach to take two. Thank you, Mr Speaker.